Welcome to Ludlowe High School.
That was me.
Basketball matchup between the visiting cadets of St.Joseph High School and the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for St. Joseph, a junior, number 22, Ramia Johnson.
Yeah, Ramia!
A senior, number 24, Maddie Johnson. A senior, number 41, Anna Elrod. A senior co-captain, number 3, Captain Zito. And a senior co-captain, number 14, Caitlin Capobianco. The head coach of St. Joseph High School is Chris Lindwall. And now the starting lineup for Fairfield Ludlowe. A sophomore, number 11, Emma Torello. A sophomore, number 13, Anna Palmer. A junior co-captain, number 24, Ida Bochi. A senior co-captain, number 20, Paige O'Connell. And a senior co-captain, number 15, Bridget Palmer. The head coach of Fairfield Ludlowe High School is Sarah Kingsley. Your officials for tonight's game is Mr. Jared DiPiano and Mr. Tom Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we'd ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Live from the main gymnasium at Fairfield Ludlowe High School, it is senior night girls basketball. As tonight, it is the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons and the St. Joseph Cadets on a senior night here in Fairfield. Hi everybody, alongside Scott Torello, Aiden Blank, so glad that you could be with us on this, well, unseasonably warm night for high school girls basketball. And Scott, we're ready for a big game that is not only senior night for a couple of really tough and good seniors, but it's a big playoff game.
It sure is. Both teams need this game. 4 games left in the regular season. Very important game for both teams, Aiden.
Underway. And immediately it's Ludlowe off the tip.
Nothing like senior night, Aiden. You stand there, you hear the national anthem. Senior night, you realize that the days are fleeting than when you're going to stand there as a player and hear these announcements.
Yeah, I was just going to say the national anthem seemed to be one of the more patriotic ones of this season. Is immediately a couple of shots no good. Ludlowe with their first big defensive stand of the night. They're going to need a lot of those. And I saw Trumbull against St. Joe's, a big girls basketball rivalry matchup on Saturday night. That was St. Joe's last game. St. Joe's comes in 7-5, 8-8 as opposed to last season where they finished 5-11, 7-13. They didn't qualify for the FC Acro State playoffs, but this year they're battling to make both. And St. Joe's had a very tough loss to Trumbull because they started off poorly. Trumbull pressed. Trumbull got them to turn the ball over, but then St. Joe's kind of had a miraculous comeback, and St. Joe's pulled eventually to within 3 before eventually falling. They'll pull their first offensive rebound of the night. Catherine Zito, the senior captain, playing the point guard. Very comparable to Ludlow's Juliette Buscher, normally the starter, but in her first game back from an injury will sit on the bench to begin this game. Another three, another missed shot, but the rebound pulled underneath by Elrod. Goes up on O'Connell, and the first points of the night to St. Joe's.
That's the advantage, St. Joe's right there, Aiden. They have the size on us. You just saw 3 opportunities on that possession. We cannot win giving them that many shots. It's going to be very important we keep them off the boards.
It's 2-0 as we move along here in the first quarter. 6:13 to go. First shot off the hands of Bridget Palme. But O'Connell pulls the rebound. There's Bochy. She'll miss. The bench waiting for something as we approach the 6-minute mark on senior night.
Yeah, it's important you get off to a good start. A lot of emotion on senior night. That can go either way for you. It's going to be important Ludlowe stays in this game early.
Elrod off the high post. No good.
That's
Ballman
exactly where they want Elrod, Aiden. Shooting jumpers.
To her sister, Anna. She misses underneath with 5:40 to go. And our first jump ball of the evening, our first stoppage.
Beautiful pass by Bridget to Anna. We're going to have to convert those all night if we're going to have a shot tonight. Yeah, this is where Ludlowe has an advantage, Aiden. We're going to press them. We're faster. We're better athletes. This is where we're going to have to win the battle.
Trumbull came off in a big-time press to begin that game, and it really worked.
You're right.
The ball turned over on their first 11 possessions were St. Joe's before finally scoring a bucket. That's a drive, but the shot no good from right underneath the basket from Capabianco, the senior. Now here comes the fast break. Anna Pullman down low, and she'll get the first points of senior night. The sophomore converts.
Great drive by Anna. She missed the last layup. So what, Aiden? You come right back and make the next one.
Turnaround's big against St. Joe's because we know they'll get 1 or 2 of those big shots to fall.
You can see early on that we can outrun them, right? We are faster than them. We're better athletes. They don't want to run up and down the court with us. That's where we have to win this game.
A foul inside, and for the first time tonight, we'll see a free throw. And it's going to come off the hands of the senior forward, Maddie Johnson. And Bridget Pullman on her senior night will pick up her first foul. St. Joe's coached by Chris Linwall with Mark Hopkins. It's the first shot off the back of the rim and no good. Ludlowe, as you know, coached by Sarah Kinsley in her 3rd season, former Ludlowe star herself, along with Bree Curran and Matt Onderko. Last year, Ludlowe versus St. Joe's, it was a 62-51 Falcon win, that game in Trumbull. Another one off the back iron, and there's the first flash since her injury of Juliette Buscher. The last time we saw her on this court, she was in severe pain in a Trinity Catholic game that Ludlowe wishes they could redo.
Yeah, I like that early substitution, right? It's senior night. Bridget is emotional. Get her a quick rest and then get her back in the game. This is a long game, Aiden.
You can see, though, that Buscher is having struggles getting back with the rest of the team. As a nice little drive, and Ramaya Johnson, the junior guard, with a big basket. As I was saying, you could see coming back that Buscher may not have been up to par with the running, only because she's been sitting out these last few practices.
Yeah, it's hard to sit for 10 days and come back in this kind of environment. But listen, she's young. She'll heal quickly. As soon as she gets into the groove, she'll forget all about the injury very quickly.
4:13 left in the first, and she is wearing an ankle brace tonight. That's Torello inside, high post with Paulman, flashes, it went off the sneakers of Buscher, but gets it back. Baseline dish, O'Connell bounced it in, and Paulman was unable to handle it, but thankfully it's going to go off the hands of St. Joe's and deny Hines. Now, the interesting thing you see, you would look at Hines and think, well, senior and post up, but she's actually a freshman, so she's going to be around, and by this time next year when Ludlowe plays St. Joe's, that will be at St. Joe's. We're going to be seeing a lot of her for the next few years. Here's Torello, fake the shot, drive, kick, Paulman near corner, and her first points of her senior night.
So important, she makes the shot early, Aiden. So again, emotional night for her, right? This is Bridget's night. If she can take this game over, she's getting open shots. She's got to be the difference maker tonight.
In their game against Darien, it was a double-double for the senior. 20 points, 10 rebounds, along with 4 assists and a steal. Some other big numbers from Darien that we'll get to you later in the broadcast. Shot up, but no, off the hands of Veronica Lubas. Lots of substitutions coming in early. Torello inside on the low block was O'Connell. Now they go back. Torello for 3, and it's off the back of the rim, no good. Fought for. It was tipped and out off Rudini. Another freshman that's flashing.
Yeah, they have 2 very talented freshmen. They're getting a lot of minutes this year. This team is really built for the future. But even, the future is now for this team. 4 games left, can easily get into the FCAC playoffs with a good showing these last 4 games.
That's 7.
Great drive right there.
Misses the shot, but a rebound from Paulman, and it's 9-4.
Travel.
7-4, and a travel on the other end.
See, again, freshman Aiden, right? Making freshman mistakes. You pressure her, she is going to turn the ball over.
A foul on Ludlowe, none on St. Joe's. And Paulman gets it on her senior night in the backcourt. Moving to the left side, gives to Buscher, moving right side. Dish for Torello. Now they go to the corner. Paulman thought about it. Baseline drive off to the other Paulman, Anna, who will reset with Juliet at top. Down to 2:25 left in the first. Possession arrow pointing to the Falcons. As Torello will spot up and miss. Rebound inside, pulled down by Emma Elrod, who you can already tell is going to be big. She's been big having the experience in that Trumbull game. She kind of put the team on her back and got them to within 3 before they fell eventually. Lots of screens coming in the low block for St. Joe's as Johnston was trapped, but a layup inside. Denia Hines, and it's 7-6, and you can tell by the reaction from the parents of victory in this game would be a big one for St. Joe's. They're one of the teams that looks up to Ludlowe, and Ludlowe is kind of the mold for what St. Joe's wants to be, a very young, fast-paced team that can knock off anybody on any given night. They go to the corner. This is Lubas. And now into the high post. A 3 is good. St. Joe's back in front, hitting a couple of shots and catching fire. It's 9-7.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Coach Linwall went with the 2 bigs. This is to their advantage if they can keep up with us athletically, because on the offensive end, we're going to have real trouble with these 2 bigs.
Trumbull and Ward, the other big matchup tonight, as O'Connell will get it. And tie us at 9. As I was saying, Trumbull hosts Ward tonight. That is a big game because Ward is currently very, very narrowly hanging on to a playoff spot at 6-6 as the number 10 seed. However, if they lose this game, they would have 7 losses as an N1 on the inside block. And it's 11-9.
So if they're not going to call the travel, then we are going to be at a big disadvantage, right? Elrod is strong. She's talented down there. It's going to be very hard for us to keep her off the boards, but she's getting those rebounds and traveling, Aiden. We got to get those calls coming to our advantage.
As I was saying, Trumbull and Ward. Ward, really, that's a must-win game for them. First shot on the way. Good. So she'll convert the N1, make it a 12-9 game. St. Joe's' largest lead of the night. And Buscher inbounds. Nice to see her familiar face back at the point guard role after missing a few games. This is her first game in 2 weeks after the injury a couple weeks ago against Trinity Catholic. Here's the drive. There's Paulman inside. O'Connell to Paulman again, driving, kicking out, and Buescher couldn't handle it. Skipped around. The referee signaled it was Buescher who touched it last. And St. Joe's with a big turnover. Two fouls on Ludlowe at this point, none on St. Joe's. And that's going to be big, not getting put into the foul game. It'll be brought up by Zito, the senior captain. Playing the guard role, she's, again, very comparable to Buescher. That's a very good matchup. Laura Heron checks into the game for the first time. As Zito will get it, flashing right down low, off the low block, she'll hit. First double possession lead of the night, and it's 14-9 St. Joseph. And a timeout is immediately called.
Hey, can I normally hear you in here?
Yeah. So that'll do it for the end of the first quarter, and it's 14-9. You could barely hear the buzzer go off. That's how loud it is. Lots of student support here in the main gymnasium. And Scott, well, you take a look at that first half, and it was a very fast one, as they usually are with Ludlowe. They come out very fast-paced. Not a ton of fouling, something that we're not really used to out of this Falcon team, and they're trailing by 5. That can't happen again. Yeah,
it was interesting first quarter, right? We came out, a lot of emotion, took an early lead, but then St. Joe's went with their double bigs, and we had a hard time matching their size. They got a lot of easy shots underneath the basket. That cannot happen for us to have success tonight.
It's 14-9 with 8 minutes left in this opening half. Catherine Zito, you get the sense, could be a problem after she didn't really score much in that first half. In fact, didn't score at all. But she did have a couple of really good drives to the hoop. You can get the sense that, again, she's going to be one of their big guards that can get by you like this, and you're going to have to lock down the paint when she's got the ball.
Yeah, anytime you have two senior guards, that usually equals stability, that usually equals confidence, usually helps level set things for your team. Ludlowe needs to settle down right here. This is a very important couple minutes, Aiden.
It'll be inbounded by Zito. Ludlowe into a full-court press for the first time tonight. That's what broke St. Joe's last time. Here's Buescher. Heron just missed it and one, but she'll go to the line and shoot. 7:41 left here in the second.
Nice steal, nice pass. Got to convert these. Every basket's important in this game.
Juliette Buescher turned around right at the perfect time. Got her hand in there and was able to get a nice bounce pass off to Heron, who will now shoot at the line. First one will take the perfect bounce. The kind of bounces you need to win this game, and it's 14-10. Here comes her second. That one not so lucky. And the rebound given off to Capabianco, and the double dribble is called in the backcourt. So Ludlowe, a couple of lucky sequences, gets St. Joe's to commit their first foul. Heron gets a lucky bounce at the rim, and then a double dribble in the backcourt. Things looking up to start this second quarter for Fairfield Ludlowe. Here's Heron. Paulman from top. They want to spot Buescher up instead of having her try and take Zito one-on-one. A smart move from Sarah Kinsley. Not having your injured point guard go against one of the best in the league is a travel. That was what they've been calling for all night, and a turnover.
Yeah, he called an illegal screen. Second on Paige. That's a big call right there, right? We need Paige's size. We need her battling these girls underneath. We cannot have her creating offensive fouls in this game.
So that's her third foul. 3 on Ludlowe, 1 on St. Joe's. Ida Bocci checks in for the first time tonight. She started the game. She's back in. Full court press. Will not be a man. Another interception. Buescher barely kept it in bounds, and in fact, she didn't. She stepped out.
Yeah, very nice play. Again, this is to our advantage, the pressure, right? The defensive pressure is where we have an advantage, Aiden.
She's quick to the ball, and she's almost intercepted it 3 times. Bounce pass, and immediately they're in the low block, something you can't let happen. McKenna Hedman for first touch. There's Zito. Off the off the backboard, no good. And we're going the other way. This is going to be a foul called. We'll figure out who it is in a second.
It was on Johnson, Maddie Johnson. Her first.
You're going to have to excuse us if we mix the two up. We've got Ramaya Johnston and Maddie Johnson. Made the same mistake when I was preparing for tonight. As the
beautiful
first
pass, beautiful finish right there. Love the pick and roll, Aiden.
14-12, 3 fouls on Ludlowe, 2 on St. Joseph. The Cadets in everything but football, the Hogs in football. Long shot just went out. But the rebound is pulled underneath by the freshman Denia Hines. And with 6.5 to go, Ludlowe gets it back.
You see how athletic she is. This girl's only a freshman. She's going to be a load in the upcoming years. Lots of ability.
6:22 left in the second. Here's Paulman at top, off to Bochy. Bochy for Buescher. Inside, free throw line extended. There's Paulman on the left wing. And they go back to top with Ida. 3 guards on the court right now for Ludlowe. Bochy being used as a forward as Paulman bodies her way in and will attract the foul. She'll go shoot to tie this game up at 14 apiece. It'll be on Maddie Johnson, the senior forward. 3 fouls on either end now. And Paulman will go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, so again, Linlaw's coming right back with the double bigs. That turned the tide in the first quarter. Be interesting to see how we match up with them without Page in the game, out with 2 fouls.
Paulman part 2 to make it a 1-point game with 6:01 left. And she's no good on this one, but Bochy pulls the rebound. Second time they've done that tonight. Paulman misses from just outside the free throw line, and bodying her way into that rebound was Emma Elrod. You can see she's very physical on that post.
Yep. Hey, we had a good opportunity there.
There's Zito. Off to Hines. Hines with the give to Elrod. Inside the low block pass, and she's fouled as she shot. Denia Hines will get our first chance to talk in extension about her. The freshman will go shoot at the line. And it will be called against Torella.
They're going to have to switch on those high screens, especially if the big girl's rolling through the middle. Very difficult with Ludlow's size to switch on those high screens.
Shot on the way is off.
If she has a head of steam going toward the basket and we don't properly switch, very difficult to pick her up properly.
4 fouls on Ludlowe at this point. Not much to be worried about unless you keep fouling at the rate they were at the end of that first quarter. Heron pulls the rebound. Off to Torello, a nice speed move down low. The layup from Bochy just off, and those are the kind of layups you can't afford to miss. Taken by Capabianco other way. She's blocked at the rim. Rebound by Zito underneath, and the foul is called. We'll see who it's on in a second. It's going to be on Anna Paulman. So the sophomore picking up her first foul. That's the 5th for Ludlowe, so only 2 more to give before St. Joe starts to shoot and you start giving away free points. Underneath, free throw line extended. They give to Zito. Zito with a nice move underneath, but again, she can't get it to go, kind of threw it up. St. Joe's has to be practicing on those layups. Those are something they can't afford to miss. Here's a straight on 3 from Paulman. She's got it. 17.
Listen, if they get Bridget wide open at the top of the key, Aiden, Ludlowe will win this game. That's been her shot all season. That and the corner jumper.
15-14 coming off another double-double. And on her senior night, she's having a night. Zito inside on the low block. Elrod can't get it, rolled off the rim. And
but again, that's
the
shots they want her taking, right? If she's away from the basket, Ludlowe has won the battle.
Here is Torello from top at 4.5 to play. 15-14, Ludlowe on top. Juliet Buescher checks in just a bit at the next dead ball, along with 2 substitutions for St. Joe's. Off a screen. Paulman lost her man, but the shot just rolls off from Bochy. Ludlowe can't get back on D, and Zito, way ahead of the pack, makes it 16-15. Now what do they do on the other end? They give it to Paulman. No charge. Instead, it's Herron, who can't get it. Paulman hit the deck hard down low. They'll give it away. 3 is off from Capabianco. How about Torello with a nice little move? Herron on the other end. She misses, but Torello's got it. Nice little sequence.
Great
Emma Torello
right
just
here,
would not
St.
quit.
Joe's is trying to beat us at our own game, right? Trying to beat us down the floor. But this is the pace Ludlowe wants. If we're running like this, Ludlowe likes his pace.
This is the pace that they led Norwalk, the 12-0 Norwalk Bears by 5 with at halftime. Now, however, that didn't really work out for them so well in the second half, but St. Joe's is not very deep on this bench.
That's exactly right. St. Joe's has a lot more size. They're not in the kind of condition Ludlowe's in. So Ludlowe wants that up and down pace to try to wear them out. See Elrod here close to half court. You got to back off her. This is exactly where you want her. You turn her over, Aiden. That's what you do.
There's Paulman's steal. Here's Buescher. Had a tough time handling, so goes back to Torello. On the right end, Herron. Bounce pass inside, and Pullman's blocked, but she'll get fouled. 3:04 left in the second, and it's an all-out sprint here at Fairfield Ludlowe.
Beautiful bounce pass. Great ball movement right now by Ludlowe, right? They're looking to make the extra pass, getting the ball inside to Anna. Listen, she's tough, right? That girl is good 3-4 inches taller than her, but she's not afraid. She's going to go into her, try to draw the fouls, try to get to the foul line.
Foul goes on Denaya Hines. Here's Pullman shooting two. She's now 0 for 3 from the line, something that she's going to be kicking herself with at halftime. She'll go shoot again.
See, I guarantee the coach is taking out Emma and saying, we need you under the basket. You dribbling the ball around half court, no good.
She'll go 0 for 4 in her first 4 attempts. This is Lubas. One-on-one with Torello. She'll make easy work of it, but can't get the layup as the rim rejected her. Down low, Pullman. Got it! 18-17.
Great fast break right there, Aiden. Beautiful catch by Anna and finish. That was a great play.
It's 19-16 and they reset. Plenty of enthusiasm from everybody in this gym. Reminds you of how it went against Staples last year.
Yeah, Ludlowe has really stemmed the early tide.
The whistle coming. It's a foul. Who is it against is the question.
It's against Anna. That's going to be her second.
So Pullman will pick up her second.
Anna doesn't get in foul trouble either, right? Anna was across the court, out of the play. These are the kind of fouls that we cannot let accumulate on us, Aiden.
Again, she's not someone you want to lose. 19-16, Fairfield Ludlowe just clinging to that lead over a surefire FCAC playoff team if they can win another game or two. The drive, the kick. This is Rudini. Bodying her way down there was Hines. And finally they get it after a couple of chances. It's a one-point game again. St. Joe's, this is not the end of their tough schedule. They still got to play Ridgefield. That's going to be something they've got to do.
That's a beautiful move right there, Aiden. Little in and out. Great finish at the rim.
21-18 Ludlowe.
This game is going to go all the way down to the wire.
Here's Becca Carey from top. Her first touches of the game. Should have been a charge, was it?
That should have been a charge, Aiden. Laura had position. 22 rammed right into her. That is a terrible call.
Herron was even positioned under the basket as if to get ready to inbound the ball. But instead, off to the line to shoot is Ramaya Johnson, the junior guard. Shot on the way is good. They bring it to within a basket. 21-19. Here's Johnson, part 2. Good. So 21-20, we got a good one as expected here at Fairfield Ludlow. And you get the sense that, well, Ludlow was at that Trumbull St. Joe's game, sitting way up in the rafters, really unseen by anybody, trying to scout and trying to figure out a game plan. And clearly, Coach Kinsley not going into this game blind.
You're absolutely right? I mean, the girls know what's at stake, right? They've had a great season, 8-4 right now in the league, 12-4 overall, 4 tough games remaining. When you get a chance on a Saturday night to get together as a team, go and see your competition play, it's fun, Aiden, right? That's why you're part of a team. That's why you compete and work hard in the off season. So yes, they saw St. Joe's versus Trumbull. That was an emotional game for both teams, in-town rivalry. St. Joe's had an incredible comeback to tie that game. But sometimes seeing a game from the stands gives you a much different perspective about where there's openings, about where their weaknesses are. It's always nice to get that bird's eye view.
St. Joe's coming off a season in which they were 7-13, did not qualify for the FCAC or state playoffs. Ludlow, not exactly in that same boat, but looking to make the FCAC playoffs after losing on the last day of the season last year. And you could tell this team has had FCACs in mind from the day they got here. Yeah, states, but states is a lot easier to make than the FCAC playoffs. You get into the FCAC playoffs and anybody can win that game. They would most likely, if the playoffs started today, get a matchup with Danbury on their home court in front of the student section. It would be a really fun game to watch. They played Danbury very well way back at the beginning of the season when they played the first time, as the give and go finds Torello on the baseline, and we're going the other way.
Yeah, the FCACs is a brutal conference. You have the #1 team in the state, the #3 team in the state. Danbury and Trinity Catholic are right outside the top 10. This league is brutal.
That Trumbull-Norwalk game that's coming up is going to be the game to go to. Even bigger than Norwalk-New London because Norwalk has established themselves as #1. Trumbull wants that title back. Off on the left end. Here's Johnston. Up top with Zito.
You see they came back with the 2 bigs trying to go high-low, but the freshman Krautzer creates the turnover. Great pass.
Stolen underneath. Got the layup. Big one to get. And it's 23-20. Fairfield Ludlow just hanging on by a thread. 3 on the other end, which would have tied it, is no. Torello, who's gotten a ridiculous amount of the rebounds, no. Now the dish from Buscher to Heron, no. And the rebound pulled inside by Elrod. And they want to hold for one last shot with 30 seconds.
Yeah, she can make those threes, but that's what Ludlow wants her doing, is shooting those threes.
They put Buscher on Zito again, which is going to be an interesting choice. A foul, which will be shooting a shooting foul underneath. Again, a very interesting decision to put Buscher on Zito. An injured point guard, it just shows how much confidence Kinsley has in her sophomore starting point guard.
Well, listen, they have no choice, right? Look at the bench right now. Paige is sitting there with 2 fouls. Anna's sitting there with 2 fouls. They're not tall to begin with. So when you look around at who's on the court right now, someone's going to have to pick up one of the big girls. And when they're switching on top on those high screens, it's going to leave a lot of bad matchups.
Shot on the way is good as Johnston making it 23-21. Ludlow a chance for a 2-possession lead would be their first of the night. Here's Paulman, down to 14 seconds. On the left end, right up the middle. Trying to get rid of Adzima. She'll drive, she will, and she'll go to the line to shoot. Just as good as that basket.
That very nice drive by Bridget.
And Bridget Paulman on her senior night will go for some free points. 5.7 left, so St. Joe's has enough time to get a shot off.
Definitely, 5.7 seconds, a ton of time.
First shot's good.
But regardless of what happens with a 3-point lead right now, they go into the halftime no worse than tied. This has been a great first half of basketball for both teams, especially for Ludlowe, especially with the foul trouble they have, Aiden.
Ludlowe has clearly played their best basketball of the season. That's good. And couldn't have come on a better night. Trying to beat a team they could potentially see down the road in the FC Akron, well, not state playoffs because St. Joe's does not compete in Class LL.
That's going to be Ludlowe's ball. Nope. Can't not foul here, Aiden. They're in the 1-and-1. Just got to play tough D, make her take a long shot.
Here's Johnston. Wanted the travel. And Torello couldn't get the shot off. 4-point game. And this second half is going to be fun. Ludlowe and St. Joe's on senior night.
Yeah, excellent first half for Ludlowe, Aiden.
It's 25-21 at the half. We're going to take a short break. We're back for more senior night girls basketball here on FSN
Aiden,
in just
big shout out to Amelia. She made a half-court shot at the end of practice the other night. Not only did she make the half-court shot, but she turned to me and she gave me one of these kind of symbols. I don't know what they mean, but apparently that's what the young kids do.
Well, certainly good to give a shout out to the future of Ludlowe girls basketball. And as I said, more senior night basketball is on its way.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
and every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson's Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Second half action back here at Fairfield Ludlowe High School. It's 25-21 Falcons over the St. Joe's Cadets. And Scott, we'll start by, why don't you give me a grade for each team, letter grade for each team in this first half?
No, I got to go high grades for both teams, Aiden. A for Ludlowe, A for St. Joe's. Both got what they wanted out of the first half. St. Joe's got Ludlowe in a little foul trouble. That's the St. Joe's advantage as this game wears on. They could take more and more advantage of their size. Ludlowe got out and ran. They got a lot of fast break opportunities, which got a lot of easy baskets to them because in the half court they've been bogging down. So both teams have to be very pleased going into halftime. Both teams got to be thinking this game is theirs to win.
I would agree. I would say high letter grades. St. Joe's a B+, only because they just haven't been able to break that Ludlowe press. Anytime Ludlowe's press, they've folded immediately.
Good point.
And for Ludlowe, I would give them an A-. The only setback for Ludlowe has been the free throw shooting. 0 for 4 was Anna Paulman in that first half. That can't happen in the second half, period.
Sure, every point matters, right? So those little layups, those free throws, every point is going to matter this half. And I totally agree with your assessment. 2 very good points on both ends.
Anna needs to go out there and shoot and have a night here in the second half, and this could be where we see the seniors take over. Paige has 2 fouls, but Bridget's been lighting it up from beyond the arc so far, and if they can keep getting her good looks, she could put this game to bed
Bridget,
easily.
right? She's done it all year.
This just happens to be a little more special because it's a little bit different game.
Absolutely. She's knocking down her open shots. Got to be fun for all these girls right here, Aiden. You're deep into the season. You're in the hunt for the playoffs. This is fun.
Well, no game better than this. To change the season for St. Joe's, turn it from good to great, and for Ludlowe, turn it from great to best. As a foul immediately.
I like the change right away, right? Elrod, too much time on the perimeter in the first half, immediately throws her right down into the post, especially with Paige with 2 fouls on her. They're going to try and pick up another cheap one on her and get her out of the game.
Here comes the inbound down the right end.
Same thing. This is really a fake screen. This is simply to get the big girls down low.
And Zito to pop out for 3. Her first 3 of the night, surprisingly. She's a big driver. As here comes Torella. 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals against Arian. Had herself a pretty good night. Near side, finds Paulman for free up top. Looked for a screen from her sister, instead dishes it off to Anna. Now here's O'Connell. Long range shot, no good. We've seen her take a couple of those. Good that she's gambling. But you need her down there for the rebounds.
Yeah, good shot. She was open, but same thing, right? That's a shot St. Joe's is going to live with.
From top, here's Ramaya Johnston, the junior guard. They swing it around to who else but Zito. Zito now guarded by Pullman, a senior-on-senior matchup. Senior captain on senior captain, for that matter. Instead of Buscher. Buscher not starting in this second half. Same starting 5 that started this game as Torello comes up with it. O'Connell into the backcourt. She did tip it. St. Joseph's got it. And a timeout just before the travel from Chris Lindwall. Smart move, as he could see O'Connell not biting. And they wanted that foul, and they wanted that travel badly with 6:29 to go in the third. Still no points scored in this third quarter.
Yeah, you hate to use a timeout early in the half like that. Great hustle play by both teams. No score yet, first minute, 30 into the half. But listen, same thing with the way the game started, right? Both teams are going to fill each other out early in the half. Both teams going to try and keep it close. And then it's going to be a big fourth quarter, Aiden, regardless of what happens here.
Inbound from the right side, right next to our half-court station. Maddie Johnson, the senior forward, gets it in. Here's Johnston. So Johnson to Johnston, a little tongue twister there. Zito from top. Now guarded by Torello. It's a sophomore on senior matchup. And a nice little pass down low. On the run was Capobianco. But whistle's
got
going
lucky
the
there.
other way.
Beautiful backdoor by St. Joe's. Just missed the layup. So going to have to get those breaks to win this, Aiden.
Capobianco cut beautifully and had a wide open layup. Here's Torello from top. Running things at the point. Here's Bochy. She'll put up a one-armed hook shot. No. Tried to stay with it and did. Only problem was St. Joe's got it back. Here's Johnston. Part of that starting five for St. Joe's. From top. Into the high post for Maddie Johnson. They go down low.
Great hustle right there, Aiden.
How about that?
Great
and
double
Elrod
team.
Rejected at the rim.
Great double team, and then excellent hustle from the backside on Bochy.
Here's Torello. O'Connell thought about it. Then gives to Paulman, who's swatted away by Elrod. A nasty rejection there. 5:29 left in the third. A foul on Ludlowe, none on St. Joe's.
Yeah, she's a senior. You see how patient she is and waits for that block.
And she knew she had the size advantage, exploited it as best she could. Torello lost it, trickles out for Paulman. Paulman may need to stay out beyond the three-point line. O'Connell perfectly comfortable inside, but instead it's stolen. Here comes St. Joe's on the fast break. Couple of moves, and she's got the layup.
Second time she's done that tonight, Aiden. It's called the Euro step. Very nice play.
That was a gorgeous Euro step. And another turnover for Ludlowe.
Yeah, we're going to have to play smart. We're going to have to settle down.
An eerie start to this.
Have not had a good offensive
quarter.
possession so far in the second half.
And
listen, sometimes when you're
inside.
big and strong, those fouls happen. That was not a malicious play, but she's big, she's strong. Bochy ran right into her. She got the benefit of the call.
Here's Buescher. Her first touch of this second half was relatively quiet in the first. But again, coming off 2 weeks of not playing any basketball, a foul inside.
Now
and
that
Paulman
was an
hits
aggressive
the deck
foul,
again.
Aiden. She may have gotten away with the first one. That one was an aggressive foul. They call the flagrant. That is a good call right there. You cannot swing full force with your arms.
So a flagrant foul. Gonna get called against Emma Elrod. Anna Paulman will shoot. She was 0 for 4 at the line in the first quarter. This first half, I should say. And she'll hit to begin this second half. Exactly what we were talking about.
Nice, it gets the lid off the basket too, Aiden, right? They've been struggling the first couple possessions of the second half. It's important to get these early cheap points.
She'll shoot. She'll make it
and they get the ball back.
Ludlowe pushing away. And as I said, Anna 0 for 4 in that first half. At this point, it's 31-27 if she makes those 31-23 if she makes those shots. They're up by 8. We're having a different discussion, talking about pulling away here. But instead, Ludlow's still in this game. But Anna able to redeem herself at the line as she goes to talk with Sydney Judkins, the athletic trainer. Heron to Buescher. A lot of young blood with the two seniors out on the court right now. Here's Buescher from top. Will she finally hit her groove? From the high post, it's Heron. Buescher thought about it. Back to Heron at top. Torello on the left side. Now Buescher on the right.
No rush, Aiden. Great ball movement right here. Some motion.
4:03. Here's O'Connell. Lost it on the ground. It comes up, and St. Joe's will avoid the jump ball. Capobianco will bring things up. Guarded by Torello very tightly. And here's someone they're going to guard even more tightly, Zito. Elrod up top. And the entry pass was deflected, and it's going to be an over the shoulder, it looks like, on Herron.
Yeah, excellent defensive position right there by Laura. The refs, though, are going to get this game in check, especially after calling that flagrant foul. You have to know they're going to call these little hand checks right now to get this game back in order.
Herron had her hand right next to the ball, poked it out. There's a three. There's a miss, but a real good rebound. And they reset with Johnston. Off to Lubas. Lubas guarded by Buscher. The entry pass, one bounce, an exit pass, now a drive, and she'll put it in the hole. 27-25, we got ourselves a game here in the third quarter. Down to 3:08 left. Buscher from top. Off a screen from Paulman. Anna will fake, drive, and another nasty hit. She's taken some real bad hits so far. That one looked like it was more aimed at her head. 3 minutes on the dot left, and Paulman's going to go shoot again. Second time this half. Fourth time in this game.
Listen, Anna's being the aggressor right now, right? So she's getting the benefit of those calls. Usually it's the way it goes in basketball.
Paulman's first is good. Makes it a 3-point game. She got the second one. We got a 29-25 game between two playoff-bound teams, most likely. Into the post. Johnson back up top. Lots of vocal spectators as the entry pass missed everything. And Buscher's going to get a chance to inbound.
Hey, see, this is really going toward Ludlow's way right now, right? They have not played a good quarter, but they still have the 4-point lead that they started the quarter with. St. Joe's should be taking advantage of this opportunity.
Torello, right in. Pass was intercepted on its way to Buscher, but fights for it. Got it. Torello. They have advantages in terms of manpower, but back to even strength. Buscher. There's some speed we didn't really even see before the injury. And Torello's going to dribble for a while. Paulman off a screen, the drive, the layup, and it just goes in and out. The rebound pulled by Hines. Off to Johnston. And the 2-minute warning falls as a three goes in. And St. Joe's back to within a point here at Fairfield Ludlow. Rocking the house are the Cadets.
Yeah, right now, Ludlow is playing frantic, right? They have us playing frantic to start this quarter. We have really not taken a good shot. That was a nice drive by Bridget, but a tough layup because she's floating through the lane. We are rattled right now. This timeout actually is to Ludlow's advantage. Let us calm down. Let us regroup. Try to set up a play that she thinks will be successful, because right now we are frazzled. So at the end of the day, 2 minutes left in the third. Guess what, though? We still have the lead, right? So as frazzled as we've played, we still have the lead. You got to keep reminding your team that as you're sitting there in the huddle.
And you talk about them being rattled. That was not the case just a few seconds ago. When Ludlow had the ball on offense, that was the best offensive possession I think I've seen them play all season, because they were fast, the passes were concise. Even the pass that got intercepted, St. Joe's just read it perfectly on the dot, and Buscher was able to go get it and bring it back up. Yeah. So that was perfect play, and they need to. Those are the kind of offensive possessions that are going to win them games.
You're right, but what's happening is our passes are really long right now, and St. Joe's is starting to read those long passes. So if we're throwing long passes across court, St. Joe's has the athletes to try to pick those off.
Here's Buscher to inbound, gives to Paulman.
So they switched up their D right here, Aiden. We're going to have to adjust and be ready.
St. Joe's moving into a tight man-to-man. Paulman for three. No, it may have been a long two as she.
But see, that was a good shot, right? They set up the play. They were frazzled. Set up the play for your senior. Get her into her spot, which has been the corner jumper all season. She missed it, but you got to like the execution.
Minute 27 left in the third. Big time game here at Fairfield Ludlowe. The entry pass and another over-the-shoulder pass, foul on Paige O'Connell. That should be her third. It is. So she's likely sitting down at the next stoppage.
The last minute, 23. She cannot pick up a fourth here in the third.
Coach Kinsley having a conversation with her assistant. Bree Olson is a nice body and a nice layup by Hines. First lead since the second quarter for the Cadets. We're going to see if they make substitutions. Nothing yet, but Ida Bocci looks like she's going to check in. Paulman, Buescher. Paulman again. 58, the drive. Anna fouled, and she'll go and shoot again. 56.3 to go. And not to jinx it, but Paulman's really rebounded after shooting 0 for 4 in the first half from the free throw line. She has not missed yet here in the second half. She's having a really good half, both with the free throws and without them.
Yeah, great drive and dish there. Again, Anna being the aggressor is getting to the foul line.
Shot of the way, nothing but net. We're tied at 30. For a game that really screams offense just by watching it, scoreboard doesn't really read the same thing. 30 points on either end. We've certainly seen more happen. Paulman part 2. Just as good. 31-30. Ludlowe back in front, but only by a point.
Yeah, all their points have been from the foul line this quarter, Aiden.
Danae Hines, to Lubas. Inside, and a foul is called. Had to see that coming. Torello really outsized by Emma Elrod.
Right, but that's a good foul, right? She only has one foul deep into the third quarter. Make her earn 2 from the foul line.
Here's Elrod to shoot. Big pair of free throws for the Cadets. And her first is off the front of the rim and no good. So, Scott, maybe the strategy may have worked out for Fairfield Ludlowe. They come in, they make her shoot 2, and she's missed 1. Ludlowe hoping for a second miss. She'll hit her second, but we're tied regardless. Coach Kinsley has to be pleased, whether they win or lose this game, with her team's effort. Obviously, it's a really big game not to win, but her team really has found their midseason form with just a few games to go. Hard to think, but next Wednesday, we've got Ludlowe Ward in the final game of the regular season. Pullman put up a real bad shot. It's tipped out. We're going the other way. Coach Kinsley can't believe it, but she's going to keep her mouth shut on the sidelines. Smart thing to do. Usually we see her get into it with the referees, but she'll stay quiet this time.
That's one of those 50-50 calls that didn't go their way.
20 seconds to go in the third. Far side, Johnston. Now working on the right with Zito. Down to 10. She wants a buzzer beater. Crazier things have happened. Capabianco. Inside, and the entry pass is deflected with a 1.5 left in this third. So St. Joseph's going to have to catch and shoot.
Love
4 fouls on either end.
Aiden, run this clock out and get into the fourth.
4 fouls on either end. Inbounded by Johnston. They go. And at the buzzer, Elrod is blocked. They wanted a foul. They won't get it. And we've got a tie game going into the final 8 minutes. What a first 3 quarters this has been for Fairfield Ludlowe and for St. Joseph. They've both been playing like their season depends on it. This is the kind of playoff basketball you want to be seeing.
Yeah, this is what you expected, right? A tie or close game going into the fourth. Both teams are very evenly matched. Both teams have very different strengths. St. Joe's trying to take advantage of their size. Ludlowe trying to take advantage of their speed. But you saw that quarter, Ludlowe got no fast break points, right? Got no easy shots on the offensive end. They're bogging down in the half-court 5-on-5 basketball. Ludlowe's got to try and get some easy shots this quarter.
All right, so short break, back for the fourth quarter in just a bit.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Aiden Blank, Scott Torello, final 8 minutes between Ludlowe and St. Joseph. The big kind of games that February and March seem to bring in high school basketball in Connecticut. The kind of games we're going to hope to see a couple Saturdays from now in the FCAC quarterfinals right here.
Absolutely, that would be exciting.
Inbound from Elrod. She goes home run pass directly into Hines, but they go back out and reset. This is Zito moving to the left side, guarded by Buscher, who knows that she'll shoot.
They're sticking with this double big set.
Here's
Be
Zito.
Interesting to see if they could take advantage of it.
Zito with a bounce pass. Plenty of noise coming on the court. Johnston thought about a 3, resets with Capabianco. No shot clock, so take your time if you're St. Joe's.
Hey, these first couple baskets are important.
Entry pass was tipped around, but finally caught by Elrod. Her shot no good. Palmet is ferocious inside and got the rebound. Pulled it right out of the hands of Elrod. Now it's Torello. Buscher back to Torello, but the pass was AWOL. And Torello hit the deck hard down low. 31-31 down to the 7-minute mark here in this regular season contest. Zito to top.
That's a shot she would have taken, but again, she hasn't played in a couple weeks, right? She's a little rusty.
And the whistle coming. Did you hear that?
I think he was talking to the St. Joe's girl, Capabianco. She didn't have her headband around her head. Never seen that before, but I guess it is a safety issue, so good call.
And obviously anything to keep these players safe is Zito. A lot of these St. Joe's players with headbands as they go to Elrod. Into the post, and a foul on the entry pass. That's going to be their third of this half that has come on an entry pass. 5 fouls on Ludlowe now, 4 on St. Joseph. Still no shooting, though. Ludlowe still has 2 to give, St. Joe's 3. Inbound. And it goes to Elrod. She'll play the point guard. Off to Capabianco, the senior captain on the left end. Moving out of that left corner. Knows they're going to trap her if she stays there too long. Here's Hines.
I'd love to see Anna and Paige continue to go for those steals.
Paige overplayed it.
The big girls are not going to take the ball and go if they get past her.
The pass to point immediately intercepted by Torello, who runs the point now. Here's Buscher, who thought about a 3 but goes right back. We haven't seen her shoot yet. Usually she's not at all gun shy. She'll shoot a 3. And just misses off the back iron, but the rebound, and Pullman, and she's got it. First points of the fourth.
First basket of the quarter is so important, Aiden.
33-31. Spin inside, split the defense, and got fouled. So some back-to-back big plays on either end. And St. Joe's going to go shoot at the line.
Big, that's 4 on Paige. Would have loved to have seen that called on Bridget right there. She only has 1 foul. Very important 2-3 minutes here while they try to survive without Paige in the game.
Here's Emma Elrod to shoot. Bochy checking in a minute.
She hasn't proven to be a good foul shooter, so fouling her has been a good strategy. But the downside of that is they've now lost Paige.
O'Connell checking out, possibly for the final time on senior night, depending on how this game shapes up. Bochy will come in her place. Got it. So they make it a 1-point game. 1 of 2 was Elrod. And Buscher will bring it up. Back to her role as that point guard. Setting the offense. She wants to go to the hoop. She's gonna. Floater is good! Juliet Buscher is back
Big
and it's
basket right there,
35-32.
Aiden. Defensive breakdown by St. Joe's. Next thing you know, Elrod is guarding our point guard. We love that matchup.
You could see the mismatch. Buescher saw it too. And all you can say is it's good to see her back in the post. Buescher was right there again, but she couldn't handle it, and it went off her knee and out. 5:25 left in the fourth.
That is a very tough pass to handle, right? So if they're making her make those passes and she's connecting, you got to tip your cap. If you help from the backside, it's a very tough play to pull off.
Elrod on Pullman, another mismatch at the top of the key. Looks for Hines. Now gives to Zito. Zito guarded by Buescher, and we're down to 5:15 to go on senior night. 6 fouls on Ludlowe, 4 on the Cadets. They swing it around. Here's Zito. Zito inside. Layup no good off the hands of Hines, and the rebound for Pullman. Pullman off to the races. She'll go left side. She'll drive. Baseline drive, and it went off the foot of Elrod.
That was a great defensive play. We had Anna standing there wide open under the basket. Nice bounce pass, but great defensive play.
They're not going to get the fast break basket they wanted as the timeout is called, but they are going to get a chance to set the offense. 35-32 on senior night. Back in a bit here on FSN.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Aiden Blank, Scott Torello. Back here on FSN, the final 4:59 left in this fourth quarter. It's a 35-32 Fairfield Ludlowe lead, and Bridget Pullman on her senior night will inbound from the left block.
Yeah, nice start to the quarter for Ludlowe. Couple good baskets. The next basket is going to be huge.
Inside, Pullman able to stick with it even as it popped out. She wanted it on the high post, ended up getting it in the point guard spot. Here's Torello, one-on-one with Capabianco, the senior. Gives it off. Pullman, the drive, couple of steps, floater, one arm, no good. And the rebound pulled down, as always, by Emma Elrod. She's done a great job rebounding. And they'll give it off to Zita.
Yeah, it's nice having that senior presence. She really is a quality player.
Here's Johnston. Johnston will go inside. Elrod trying to elbow him out, but her pass to exit the congestion got intercepted by Bochy. Now here's Buescher.
Yeah, Lindwall is complaining. There's absolutely no foul on that. That was great defense.
Torello missed from 3.
Good shot. That would have been a big one in the game.
Ramaya Johnson, a junior guard, will give it off to Zito. Zito knows what she wants to do. She wants to take Buescher right down low. Here's the baseline drive. Unguarded, and she can't make the layup. Here's Torello. They were expecting that. She'll drive, split the D, and throw it off the leg of Ramaya Johnston, the junior guard, unable to handle it. And with 3:39 left in the fourth, Ludlow still clinging to that 3-point advantage.
Yep, next basket's huge, Aiden. Be nice to push this lead a little.
Pullman will inbound. This time on the right side to her sister. 3:35 remaining. Here's Buescher from top.
So again, they have a good matchup, right? Elrod's guarding Laura. She's really not going to guard her. She should be able to get an open shot.
There's Pullman. Can't get it. Front rim, no good. And the rebound inside, 3.5 to go. This is Zito, the one you want, the girl that you want to have the ball in this situation. If it comes down to one last possession, she'll likely get it. Inside, and we're staying with the Cadets. You can clearly see it did go off 2 Ludlowe players.
Yeah, that's great
3:11
effort
left.
by Bridget. Beautiful high screen. Listen, that's tough. You got to communicate on defense. They've seen it enough times now. They're going to have to be able to get through that. Same thing right there.
Again, stripped. No harm, no foul for Ludlowe.
Nope.
Both literally and figuratively. No fouls being called here, so just keep doing it.
Yeah, 2 big defensive plays. Going to have to keep fighting. A lot of game left.
The hook shot is going to fall, and we're down to a 1-point game again. 35-34. Torella. Bounce pass to Pullman on the far end. No substitutions yet, so they're going to keep Heron in. O'Connell is likely the next sub, so they want to push that for as long as they can before they put her in. Heron on the right end, up top. Buscher on the left, right next to the Falcon logo. Now moving on the left side, right next to the bench. A pretty pass. She'll get it. Screen. Blocked on the shot. Pulled down by Johnston, who saw it perfectly. Somehow knew Buscher was going to shoot and when she was going to do it. And now Zito gets to run the point one more time.
Yeah, good defensive play.
Watch Zito. She's unguarded, but she gets hit.
There's no foul there. That's just girls playing hard.
Lubas inside, lost the ball. Pullman comes up with it. And a travel. Wow. You could see she had no idea where that was coming from, but she doesn't care. Right. That was a big steal and a big momentum shift because now St. Joe's has to reset the offense.
It was. Big steal. Got to keep your composure.
Paige O'Connell in for Laura Heron. 2:01 to go. Her next foul sends her out. 4 fouls on O'Connell. That's the only one you really got to watch at this point. Pullman, it went right off the back of her sneakers. And somehow a foul is going to get called.
That's going to be
going to get called against Anna Pullman
for whatever. Elma Elrod.
Okay, so it looked like he was signaling 13.
Yeah, but again, one of those 50-50 plays. Could have went either way. St. Joe's coach is beside himself. It was a bad pass, though, Aiden, right? Went right off the Ludlowe defender's back. So we should have the advantage on that.
2 minutes remain, and this gym is the loudest it's been all year. Buscher to top. Trying to call a play, but they may not be able to hear her.
Yeah, but
left end.
Got to look for the senior.
And they will. Pullman off a screen, a harsh one at that. Buscher for 3. Oh, she got it!
That was a big shot, Aiden. Pushes it to a 2-possession game.
Threw up a prayer and it fell. 38-34 and a timeout.
Great game right now. Minute 30 left. We're up 4. This has been everything you could ask for, Aiden.
What a senior night it's been. 38-34 with a minute 32 to go.
Yeah,
wow.
They were working so hard to get Pullman the ball. Pullman gets the ball. She's fighting to go around a couple girls. It naturally creates a defensive breakdown because everyone's going to come to her. Beautiful shot by Juliet in the corner. Up 4.
You could see that's a Tyus battle against Duke kind of shot. I'm a Syracuse guy. That was that looked exactly like the shot he made just a few weeks ago at Cameron Indoor. Just went into the corner, had to put up a shot, and did, and somehow it fell. The basketball gods listened. 38-34 Ludlowe, and now they need a defensive stop.
Yeah, but listen, this is where you have to gather yourself in the timeout, right? Minute 30 left, still a lot of time in this game. We are now putting them in the 1-on-1 next foul that we have. There's no time to celebrate right here, Aiden. This is going to be a long minute 30 left in this game.
A minute 32. We will likely be here for a lot longer than that. 6 fouls on Ludlowe, 5 on St. Joe's. And the possession arrow pointing to the Falcons. So Ludlow's got a chance. If they can get a jump ball here, that's a turnover as well.
You're right. The possession arrow goes to Ludlowe. That's a big advantage right now. Great point right there, Aiden.
1:32 left. And Elrod to inbound. right near us on the right side, near center court. Off to Johnston. Johnston the bounce to Zito. Zito from top. Buscher all pumped up from that three. Gonna be playing the best defense she'll ever play.
You see the double team on Elrod right there, but it left Johnson wide open.
A long three and it falls.
Oh, that was a big shot, Aiden.
Buscher hits the three, but Johnston counters. Another timeout, and it's a 1-point game once more.
Yeah, you see how much attention they were giving to Elrod underneath the basket. Had her double teamed, leaves Johnson wide open on the top of the key. Hey, give her credit. That was a great shot.
1:12 left, and Fairfield Ludlow has the ball.
We still have the lead, 1:12 left. Now, St. Joe's has a foul to give, so you could start seeing them be aggressive early here. Get that foul out of the way, see if the ref kind of chokes on his whistle and doesn't call it.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I'll be curious how this
Love the analogy.
This first kind of possession goes, because St. Joe's is not going to let them dribble around.
They will not. We did see this kind of same thing in the JV game. We had a really good JV game that we haven't really mentioned yet that came right down to the wire. Ludlow pulled it out at the end in typical Ludlow fashion, as I would say.
You're right. That was a great game by the JV girls and a nice win.
Here we go. Inbound from O'Connell. Buscher was calling for it. Pullman
exactly
snags
that,
it.
Right? I mean, they were aggressive because they know they have a foul to give.
Buscher to bring it up.
They almost got away with one right there, Aiden.
From center, off a screen. O'Connell got sent backwards. Very physical screen. On the ground with Zito. They're going to take advantage. And the foul.
Which is exactly what I expected, right? They were going to be aggressive the whole possession until the ref finally made the call. Not 1-1 yet.
53.7 left. You are right. Both teams at 6, so they each have one foul to give. Not the case in the JV game where in both halves they spiked those foul totals way up.
Been a well-officiated game, though. Been very fair on both sides of the ball.
Buscher from top. You can't say that. There may be bad calls on either end. Or what parents would have liked to be bad calls, but it's been, for the most part, fair on both ends. Right. Another foul's going to get called, and that's the one they had to give. So with 43.3, St. Joe's out of fouls.
Yeah, 1-1 for Bridget. Hey, what would you rather have right now, right? Senior night, senior on the line, 1-point game, 43 seconds left. This is where you got to be rooting for Bridget.
She hasn't missed all night, 2 for 2. To make it 3 for 3. You could hear a pin drop as she hit it. 39-37. This one even bigger, though, makes them have to shoot a 3, which they can do, as we just saw in that last possession.
Absolutely, because they're going to double Elrod again, right, which is going to free up one of their shooters.
Pullman, part 2. Perfect. 40-37. She's done her part. Now the Ludlow defense has to do theirs.
This is where you may want to consider not doubling Elrod. You see how long it's taken her to get the ball over the court.
Johnston's got it. Wanted a backcourt, didn't get it. Guarded by the senior Pullman. Lubas.
It's exactly what Ludlow wants, right? Get them stressed.
Wants
get them thinking they have to throw a shot up.
Barely got it to Zito because Buscher wouldn't let her. Zito taking steps, and it's intercepted. Torello's got it with 15 to go. They capped to foul. Pullman with a crossover move. Down to 10, she'll throw it to Pullman. And finally, it's Anna Pullman who gets the call to go to the line. Wonderful clock management. And with 8.1, Ludlow needs a free throw to end this thing.
Yeah, no time to celebrate, though, Aiden. It's a 1-on-1 pressure situation. This game is not over.
One free throw is all it will take to make it a 2-possession game. 8 fouls on St. Joe's, 6 on Ludlow. And she got it.
Huge win.
That was big.
Yeah, so Aiden, right there, when you're the St. Joe's coach and you see your team breaking down, that's when you have to use your timeout and get your team organized.
Juliet Buescher can't help but smile as Paulman will miss the second. It's tipped in the air.
That's perfect. Let time run out. Do not
foul. And
on
senior night, we'll see a foul.
So he used his timeouts too late, right? When they were struggling right here, that's when he had to use his timeout. They were struggling the whole possession. They finally throw the ball into a double team down low. That's when you're the head coach. You got to take over, call the timeout, and regroup.
3.1 left, 4-point game. St. Joe's is going to have to throw up a prayer and hope that the basketball gods answer.
Yeah, I wish I knew how many timeouts St. Joe's has left, because if you do not foul, the clock is not going to stop when it goes through the basket. So if they don't have a timeout left, let the ball just sit there and let the clock run.
What a night it's been. From the pregame introductions to the first half sprint, and now closing it out in the second. Fairfield Ludlowe has played A-plus basketball. You can't put it any other way. It's the kind of basketball that we're going to get used to seeing in these next few years.
Right. What's undeniable right here, Aiden, is the effort has been incredible tonight. From the very start, Ludlowe undersized. Who cares? They came out, they fought, they used strategy, they double teamed.
3.1 to go. Fourth quarter, 41-37, Fairfield Ludlowe leads. And for St. Joe's, it's going to be a tough, tough loss and a tough, tough ride home. The inbound will come from Zito, which means she's going to have to sprint to get open for a three. They want to shoot it with somebody else. Who gets freed up?
See, they just saw the play because they hadn't inbounded the ball yet.
Johnston gets it, heaves it up, and on senior night, that will do it. 41-37, Fairfield Ludlowe continues to roll. Their fourth win in a row.
You know, Aiden, just when you think they're outmatched, they come and play a game like this. Tremendous effort, pull out the win on their home court. 9-4 in the league right now, headed to West Hill on Friday, which if they play their game, they certainly have the advantage. This team continues to overachieve the entire season. What a season it's been. It's been fun.
You couldn't have written a more storybook kind of ending. They still have another game at home, yes. But what a win it was. The kind of team you're going to see in the playoffs in all three rounds, and they just took them by the neck and threw them out the door. So headed back to Trumbull at 7-6 are the Cadets. They're going to have to pretty much win out in order to make the FCAC playoffs. Ludlow, well, we're not going to say guaranteed, but at this point, the chance is really, really high. Chance is skyrocketing after tonight.
Yes.
At 13-4 now, 9-4 in the FCAC. They'll get a win at West Hill most likely on Friday, followed by Staples and Ward, two big games next week.
You're absolutely right, Aiden. This win lets them control their own destiny. This team could trend toward the 5 seed in the FCACs, which is a huge advantage. If you can bypass Norwalk and Trumbull in the first round, anyone can win those other games. So getting that 5, 6, 4 seed, that's a big advantage to whoever it is.
So for Scott Torello, our cameraman Griffin Forberg also celebrating his senior night, and everybody else on our FSN broadcast crew, 41-37 your final. We will see you next week at Staples. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.